We're live now. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And we're live now on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Much a weekly show. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about tonight. It's been a long week for a lot of people, obviously, with this lockdown implemented in Scotland, lockdown measures in Ireland. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to the channel. So myself and Gary are here tonight. Gary from Celtic Appreciation Page. 2 weeks, guys, since the last time I had you on. I just needed under 2 weeks.
Aye, it's been a long 2 weeks. It's actually been a really long week since we played our last game, and obviously we've still got a few days more before we play our next game. But in terms of the Dubai trip, I think I do agree with a lot of the fans that it's out of touch with the fan base, because listen, it was planned. It was a trip that was planned months ago, and it was approved by the government. So, in terms of the coverage that it seems to be getting over here, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's, we're just clutching at straws to badmouth the club. I don't agree with Celtic going, especially with the way the seasons went and their position in the league. But listen, it might recharge the players' batteries, and hopefully we'll go on an unbeaten run for now to the end of the season.
See, the argument sake the fans wanted to see was we should have, with this weekend it being a long week, we should have had a game in hand. We should have won the games in hand this week. Just like we should have been discussing it last night about a game, playing with the games in hand, literally rebuilding from what's at the happening. What was your opinion on Ibrox anyway?
Really disappointed, because I didn't expect us to play so well, and the fact that we played so well probably hurt more. The fact that they walked out with 3 points and a clean sheet, because that is the worst they've played all season, and they still walked out with 3 points. I thought we were playing too wide at times, and I thought Frimpong and Laxalt should have been hitting the byline more. I think if they'd been hitting the byline more, we would have got a wee bit more success in the middle. No enough covered balls into Griffiths and Eddie. I think if we got a bit more distribution into they two, got them to link up a wee bit more, could have happened. But it's one of the things, just wasn't to be. Do you know what I mean?
It wasn't, and there's a lot of people might say it could be the performance of the season with the spells we played, but performance of the season we didn't get the 3 points. Unfortunately, as I said, Neil Lennon came out in the boy and said, "Oh, we had great spells in the game. We were looking fantastic." I think this is a great building momentum for the team to get away, because they've went to the boy in previous years. They've bounced back. We go back to last year when they beat us at Celtic Park 2-1. And a lot of people were panicking, saying, "Oh Jesus, look at there! Now we actually have a title race on our hands. What's going to happen? Can we build momentum?" They fell obviously under the ship, sunk under the ship, you could say. And look where we're at now. Like, we're 19 points behind. Yeah, potentially be 4 games in hand, 3 at the moment. Rangers won't be playing the weekend of the Betfred Cup semi-final because their opposition is playing in the semi-final. Way you see it is players can gel together. They have to look at the table and realise how bad of a season it's been so far. We're halfway through. We're 19 points behind. We haven't got the best players that we brought in. Look, for example, Shane Duffy. Shane Duffy's gone back to Derry or the UK for personal family reasons. What do you sum up about Shane Duffy so far?
I mean, listen, he's came to Celtic. It was obviously a dream of his to come and play for the club that he loves, and he actually started it really well. Do you know what I mean? When you think he scored the 2 goals in his first 2 games, and looked really like a presence we were missing in defence, and obviously helped up front with the goals. But then something seemed to go wrong. I don't know whether it was problems with the goalkeeper or shifting the defence a bit. I don't really know what the problem was, but it just seemed to slowly fall apart for him at Celtic. And listen, I don't think it's the right move. I think he'd be as well maybe staying at Brighton or moving on elsewhere.
Nottingham Forest he's been linked with.
I think he's probably thought, like many players down in England, as I've said before, that he's probably thought, do you know what? I want a piece of this. I want a piece of success. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to have a ball and we're going to win trophies and have a laugh. And fair enough, he's won the Scottish Cup. He can put that on his CV. But I just don't think it worked out for him. And no harm to the big guy, I don't think he's good enough for Celtic.
He just hasn't shown the level of where he was at Brighton, where he's in relegation battles. And relegation battles compared.
I don't even think he was that great at Brighton, to be fair. I don't know if it's this pull with the fact that he's Republic Island or that he's a Celtic fan. I'm not too sure. But the fans, and I'll be honest, I got a wee bit swept up with myself at the start. But I think when you take a step back and look at him, look at his performances for Celtic, I think he has looked like a bomb scare at times, and most of the defence has, to be fair,
F.A. Ambrose.
Most definitely. Of the defence has been poor, but at the end of the day, I think a wee bit more pressure's on him because he's came through the English Premier League.
I just want to say to people that are watching this on Facebook, if you can share it, anyone that's watching on YouTube, try to comment in, see what you think as well, and same with Twitter as well. Yeah, it's a lot of football to play. It's a lot of people not writing us off on just but is it a case that's can we go unbeaten for the rest of the season, considering what we went through the first half of the season?
I think, what is there, half of the games left to go?
Yeah.
Listen, possibly. I think there's about 16 games left to go. We possibly could go and win 16 games in a row. We've done it before. But I don't see it with this team. I think there's still too many flaws there. If we can get Forrest back from injury, I don't know how long Julien's out for yet. Obviously, that looked a bad one against Dundee United, but
he didn't travel to the boy. It looks like.
Especially getting Forrest back from injury quickly and getting him on that park and playing well. I think that's going to be a massive, massive boost for us. But as I say, it's all about now. We've got to take care of our games and forget what they're doing across the city. Because if we win 16 games, it might not be enough. But we've got to try. We've got to try every game and try and get 3 points in every game. We've got to really...
Two Glasgow derbies left as well, so whoever believes that we can do a fair play to I just thought I thought it was our last chance, and Saturday just gone. I just felt like, we needed to build momentum. We needed to get them to scare, take points back off them from the start of the season. But it's a long time to go. If we don't get any of them games and we don't make the best of them games in hand, them 9 points, you might as well just kiss it goodbye completely. Whoever's thinking that we could do it. We just have to take every game as it comes. As I said, it's like a cup final,
Yeah, as I say, it is a massive, massive gap, and I can understand the fans' frustration and wanting the team to stay and play the games. But listen, maybe getting away for Scotland is going to be the best thing for the team. I don't know. We'll only find out when they take the field against Hibs on Monday night.
Yeah, but there's some. I saying like this. A few comments online, like people are saying like, "Oh yeah, we're giving them money for season books, but yet they're flying away to Dubai and not showing like they want 10 in a row."
I think when you look at what the team,
it just feels Celtic fans just feel like they feel. Yeah, there was this season. Celtic fans just feel like they're getting robbed. They like robbery, like literally everything. They just feel like they're getting robbed. That hasn't been clarity from the board. The board haven't came out and said out straight on TV or on the YouTube channel. They're coming out with all these little snotty statements that's irritating fans. I still think the riots are going to happen again. I just think if it happens, if we don't get these games in the hand, we F it up, it's going to happen. These fans that have that small portion that believe that it's going to happen. And if it goes wrong, they're like, what, let's just riot again and get the board out, sack the board. Regards to January, I know we're in the month. It feels like a strange month. What's the story about Odsonne Edouard? Do you think he's going to go?
Well, I said to you, I think it's probably 2 weeks ago before we played Rangers. I thought if we don't beat Rangers at Ibrox, then I think Odsonne Edouard could probably leave, and if we won, then he would have stayed. I wouldn't be surprised if he went. I would not be surprised, and I don't know if the rumours or to be believed that he's changed his agent. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But listen, I wouldn't blame him if he left, because realistically, I know we're still chasing the league. It's not realistically that we're going to get it, but you do need all your best players, and I still think Odsonne Edouard's a class player.
His goal against Dundee United was unbelievable.
He's got that in his locker. He's not.
I think he has stepped the game up.
Season, but
with Griff,
he can be quiet for 15 minutes, and then just provide this one moment of magic, and as if to say, I'm still here, I'm still in the game. So it's that he's got in his locker, and the Panenka penalties, and I wouldn't be surprised if he left, but I would hope that he stays, and we can at least fight for this league.
But the question is, would the value go down if he doesn't finish the season? But
yeah, I think
another 10 goals to the belt.
The value will go
if we were to finish second place, the value will go down on him. They give what he's produced the last 3 years for Celtic.
I think the value will go down. Will be gone down regardless, because I think listen, I think if you look at probably last summer, if we were to sell him, we could have named a price. I think we could have asked for 30 or 40 million, and I'll realise that he's not had the greatest of seasons so far. So you could probably at least half his price tag, and I think you'd be talking 15, 20 million. I think you could still get 15, 20 million for him. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I genuinely think he's still worth at least that.
Danny said he signed with a London agent. He's off to the EPL. Speaking of the EPL, Dembele's been linked to West Ham. We want to go. Hopefully, it's a good fee so we can make a bit of money out of it.
Listen, I think that might be just a wee bit of a rumour. I don't know.
You got to think about it.
Close to Chelsea move when he was close to move to Chelsea, and I'm
Leon are not playing in the European.
Chelsea or West Ham, really.
But Leon are not playing in European football this season, so that's where the valuation goes down at Odsonne. Musa.
Aye, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. If the rumours were to be believed about Chelsea in for him, then realistically you're going to go to Chelsea rather than West Ham.
What do you think of Ryan Christie? This all this malarkey that obviously they're offloading those and they're meant to be getting Ryan Christie in.
Ryan Christie frustrates me because I know he's got so much more in his locker. His work rate is still there. He's still, he was still working hard on Saturday in the game, and I wouldn't say he tries. Somebody says to me today that he tries hard on the Scotland jersey. I don't believe that for a minute. I still believe he's the same player for Celtic. He's just something's missing, but something's been missing with the team. So,
do you think it's missing because he's not playing more central? Because he's on the right.
That's what I said. I did say that we needed to play him more central, but by doing that, you're losing Turnbull. Unless you can play Turnbull out wide, I don't know. But
no, not a chance. You're playing in the centre.
So, that's the problem that you have with that one. But in terms of you're trying to fit a player into a formation that he just won't fit into, and it's not that he's poor doing that wing. He's just because he's got that in his locker where he can belt in the world class goals like he's seen against Aberdeen and Hearts in the cup, and he's got a great finish on him. His distribution needs to be worked on a wee bit, and his finishing obviously needs to be worked on. But I would hate to lose him in January or the summer.
So Roberts is saying that we'll go again next season. I'll put the season behind me. We've lost the league. Start the season went all well, and Lennon couldn't get a team together for Champions League qualifiers. I think there was a lot at the start of the season. Obviously, Hayes going, Bolingoliak to go, Gordon leaving, not getting Fraser Foster was the biggest kick in the arse. And yet we're still crying for Fraser Foster to come back. I can't see Fraser Foster coming back because he's actually getting a bit of game time at the moment. He got a clean sheet the other day against Liverpool for Southampton because McCarthy's out.
That's by chance he's been brought in there. Because that's McCarthy contracted COVID, so that's why he's been drafted in there. In terms of the Fraser Foster scenario, I don't think he'll come back now. And I don't really blame him with the way some of the fans are behaving, the way some of the fans are acting, because the fans do this every single time with players. They blame the players. If the players don't come back after a loan spell or don't want them, they turn against the player, despite what they've done for us.
Here's a little fact for you. 28 games Fraser Foster played last season for Celtic, right? 14 clean sheets, and only conceded 17 goals. And people are still moaning about Fraser Foster. And plus that man of the match performance against Rangers. Fraser Foster has been our best keeper for the last 10 years at the club.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there. He broke clean sheet records, and yet people are going like he's a fucking. You're on 90 grand a week. It is going to be hard to come back to a club that you're not going to guarantee you're going to get. They're going to pay your wages. Of course. Like you deal that people don't understand. He's not a Kieran Tierney. He's not a Kieran Tierney. Like it's a. They can turn away quicker. It took Tierney a couple of weeks to decide that they are something. And we're all now looking like, oh geez, I'd love to have Tierney back. I've always wanted Tierney back when he left. We always had this discussion, and you said it. Like you could have 2 years of him, where he might get injured, and his career might end. But his goal the other day against West Brom, when I was against West Brom, unbelievable.
I'm delighted that he's doing kind of well, and he's won trophies already.
And Arteta came out and said that he has the potential to be the captain of Arsenal. He's a very shy.
You can see that already in him, and he's got that in him. But it's just this whole thing with Celtic fans. Nobody knows what goes on at Celtic apart from the Celtic hierarchy and the player involved. So,
is a Lawwell being penny pinching? Like people always find that when the deal breaks down, the player always gets blamed on it. It could be a case that it could be Lawwell just being penny pinching.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the board that's penny pinching and no one to. I mean, we penny pinched over Stephen Fletcher for another 12 months. We wouldn't give him another 12 months on the contract he was asking for, and we lost him to Stoke. So, I think we've done
Stoke.
Foster as well.
Mm-hmm. We need another left winger. Left winger, definitely 100%. Who could we get? I know Martin Boyle plays on the right. Would you sign him?
Boyle's a decent player.
Because I think realistically, we're rebuilding next season. I don't think we're going to go for these like players in the Premier League and Scandinavia. I think it's going to be all kind of domestic signings. Similar to what Gordon Strachan done.
That's basically I was going to say to you, because the January transfer window, you can forget about marquee signings. It's going to be players like Ryan Porteous, Martin Boyle, Declan Gallagher, Stephen O'Donnell.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be players like that no harm to them.
Would you go for David McCarthy?
They're good players. For who?
David McCarthy plays right back for St Johnstone. He's on loan from Millwall.
I've not really seen a lot of him.
Republic of Ireland under 21. He looked quite solid. Played when we played them.
If he plays for Republic of Ireland, we'll probably sign him. That's the bonus. That's the safe word. But no, I'd like to see us maybe go for Declan Gallagher. I like him.
I thought he played well against Serbia, and he
played well against us. Scored a good goal against us as well at Fir Park. Somebody like him, I wouldn't mind, and even Deutsch or something, somebody like that. It's going to be somebody like that we're going to bring in.
That's a great point by Michael there. Is the word cutting our losses? I'm going to change the banner around, folks, so people can actually read this better. Hold on, I'm going to change.
Southampton as well. As in the wages on both. No, I wouldn't agree with that, because I think Linus has got that. I mean, he's not been playing much, and I'm not sure why.
His volley. I thought that volley was in on Saturday. I was like, close.
But I think he's a better player. He's probably one of our best players, if I'm being honest. So I probably wouldn't send him back. I would just leave him in the summer. But Duffy, I think you could probably send him back, to be honest. I don't think he brings anything to the team.
Someone's saying about Aaron Hickey. Danny, I watched the Scottish Cup. They done an interview with Aaron Hickey. He had obviously COVID-19 when he's at Bologna. But I can't see him leaving Bologna for like 2 years at least. It looks like he's settled in. He's learning the language. He plays obviously left back. He plays left back. We're going to struggle this season for left back. And now there's talks of Diego Laxal has turned down a deal to go to Al Hayat in Saudi Arabia.
I've seen that, aye.
And there's talks that we could buy him. We could trigger the clause now this month to buy him in the season at the end of the season for 7.3 million.
Who was that? Sorry,
Diego Laxal.
Laxalt. We can buy him for what?
7.3 million.
Nah, we're not spending 7 million on a defender, especially a left back.
When we got Greg Taylor for 3 million.
And I don't think he's a £7.3 million player. I think
he's
a decent player.
He was bought for 14 million.
He's got a lot of flair in him, and he's got a lot of pace, and his work rate's all right. But I just don't see us buying him for 7 million. You know, I think if we were in a better position in the league, maybe, I don't know, but I just don't see, because even if we do go and win the league this year, I don't see us strengthening big for next season, because it'll be done. We'll have achieved 10 in a row.
We'll talk about who's going to go, who's going to leave in the next couple of minutes. If people want to comment below who they think is going to leave in the next, from January to the summer, the 2 windows, go ahead. Just write down, even they're going to retire or be gone, obviously with the loan moves and everything. So what did Chris Patterson say here on Facebook? The Brighton manager said a couple of weeks ago, Duffy's loan will not be ended early, and the club came out and said that as well, that Duffy's loan won't be ended early. So it's time where
they just sent him back for a bit of family time. I don't know.
Well, some player, to be honest with you, if you lose your dad, you go on a bit of a scary scenario of a pandemic and not settle up in Glasgow, not interact with the fans, don't feel like you're a god signing for Celtic, and don't get that love and getting absolute abuse. Now there's talks that he has deleted his Twitter and his Instagram. Mm-hmm. I think he has. Give him the month off. Give him the month to get himself together.
I'll be honest, I think if I was a professional footballer, I wouldn't probably be big into social media. I'd probably be a James Forrest or Callum McGregor. I probably would avoid it altogether, because people can just be nasty. And people can just be trolls and just abuse you, even if you're not having that bad a game.
Yeah, because some of the stuff I've seen about Duffy this season is just a different level. I've never seen any other like Celtic. Like, I know when we messed up against Juventus in the Champions League, Ambrose was public enemy number one. But even with Beat on the weekend, like his wife, to some of the stuff that was sent to his wife, it was absolutely disgusting. Like, that's not a real fan.
No.
That's a player.
The only thing I'm upset probably at Beaton is that I seen a still image of him grabbing Morelos, and I could not believe how overweight Morelos is. And I was thinking to myself, how did he steal a march on him? How did he steal a yard on him to get away from him? Do you know what I mean? So that's probably what I'm more angry about. But listen, it's one of the things you just, as soon as he's done it, he knows he's done wrong. And as you say, that there are no fans that sending abuse to players like that and their families. Do you know what I mean? There's absolutely no need for it at all.
There's a lad that I was talking about during the summer. We should definitely get Ben Davison. He would be ideal. He was the skipper for Preston North End. If no one knows who Ben Davis is, I think Ben Davis is 26 years of age.
Is that the Ben Davis that was at Bolton?
No, I don't think so. No, this guy came through the youth.
Kevin Davis. I'm thinking Kevin Davis.
Kevin Davis. Just give me a second now, folks. I'll get the Wikipedia what I have the stream on. See can I give you a few facts about him from off the net. 25 years of age. I was close. I said 26. 1995. August 1995. How long is he at Preston? He's at Preston since 2013. Yeah, he came through the youth system at Preston, so I was right. I would take him. Definitely take him. 100%. I think we need someone like that. We need a bit of pedigree. I know people are saying, it's the championship. Now, people are saying about Benkovic. Talks that Benkovic could return. Could you think Brendan Rodgers will do Celtic a favour and give us Benkovic back? I know Rodgers' favour doesn't go in this sentence. I shouldn't.
I can't really mention Rodgers' name if it choking sometimes, but I don't know. Benkovic would be a great addition to the squad, I think. I loved him when he was up here on loan, and it probably hurt me more that he went to Bristol City Was it Bristol City or Bristol Rovers? I can't remember which one.
Bristol City.
Bristol City, aye. Aye, so I would love
Bristol Rovers are League One.
I'd love to have him back. Another player I've always tipped, especially as a left back, he played well the other night against Tottenham, was Rico Henry at Brentford left back. Likes to get forward.
I like Brentford. I have a thing for Brentford. I just think as I said, I'm a fan of Thomas Frank. I think he's a good manager. I think he has the calibre to be the Celtic manager. People might laugh and say, but if you get a team to a playoff final,
that's a shout.
It's one of the hardest leagues in the world, the Championship, to get to the playoff final. What are you playing? 52 games? 50?
I mean, they did bottle it a bit last season when you think they should have went up automatically. And then they fell away at the end of the season and then obviously lost to Fulham. But talking about obviously potential Celtic managers, obviously like the obvious ones that I've got listed down is Michael O'Neill and Eddie Howe. But what about Graham Potter at Brighton?
No.
Don't
think he'll leave. I don't think he'll leave Brighton. He's only his second full year at Brighton. Nah, can't see him. Can't see him leaving.
He play better? Who knows?
Never know. That's it. Michael O'Neill will be a good show. He's obviously done well with Shamrock Rovers, getting Shamrock Rovers into Europe a couple of years back. Rebuilding Stoke, done well in the Northern Ireland job. Obviously getting Northern Ireland into the Euros is a massive achievement for them. It wouldn't be a bad show. Like, I don't think we should be looking at former Celtic managers. I don't think we should be looking at O'Neill and Roy Keane basis, stuff like that. I don't think they're not good. I don't think Roy Keane's good enough for Celtic. And me and Michael talked about obviously David Moyes. David Moyes is doing quite well, but I don't like David Moyes because he was knocking at the door. He was at Celtic Park a few times. Obviously, when Neil Lennon and when the Ronnie Doyle era was around, and he's been linked so many times with Celtic, and it's felt like he's just looking for a bigger paycheck than anything else. I wouldn't take David Moyes at Celtic, and that's my honest opinion. Look, he was a great manager for Everton, done well with everything, getting them into the Champions League. Well, European places, an FA Cup final. Didn't really get the chance. I felt like he could have got more. Obviously, when you go in,
I thought he tried to change United too quick. I thought he should stuck with the same team for at least a season, and added his own players in slowly but surely. The mistake he went for was going for Fellaini at United, and it all kind of snowballed from there. But no, I probably wouldn't have Thierry Henry.
No, because he failed at Monaco and he failed in Montreal. Not a chance. Definitely not.
Some players on the.
I'd rather take Ronnie Doyle back a wood.
I'll tell you who's starting to excite me as a manager potentially. Wayne Rooney at Derby's doing quite well this season. Since taking over, I know he struggled a wee bit at the start. I think.
But that's the way it's going in football, isn't it?
I think they're unbeaten in 5 or 6 or something now.
It's mad to think it's going like that in football. It's like former managers. I know, like it's starting to come high pro. Former managers literally coming out of retiring and going straight into the mix. I know Rooney didn't retire. Never heard of this lad. He's a young boys manager.
Never heard of him, so I couldn't really tell you too much about him.
MB, absolutely. What about Paul Lambert?
Nah.
Why not?
I've never rated Lambert as a manager, really.
Even though he has
I know he done well with Norwich in terms of getting a promotion, but I don't. There's something about Lambert I just don't like as a manager. I don't know if he's just too placid or whether he seems to.
No, by the way, folks, we're talking about next season. Who would bring in next season? Not because let's be realistic here. And Gaz stood by the words at the end of the season. And the club said they were going to review the managerial role this month. I think Lenny's here to the end of the season. Obviously, we've gone to the boy. You've seen him at the pool with Scott Brown having a few drinks. I think he's here to the end of the season. And if Lennon could do what he started, Lennon, as much as I hate saying this because we won 10 in a row, we could end the era of Neil Lennon with a Scottish Cup by the way he started with a Scottish Cup.
Aye. I don't think Neil Lennon will be here next season, regardless of what happens this season. I think if we win 10 in a row, I still think he'll go.
How's it going to end? How's it going, Terry? How are you keeping? How are you getting on? Ian McCush. Inosh, I can't pronounce it, sorry, Ian, but not, if that's the right name, how to pronounce it. Ian McCush.
Macintosh.
Macintosh. That's it. Thanks very much for sorting me out here, guys. Martinez, I don't think he would even touch Celtic.
No, he's still Belgium, isn't he? Still,
yeah, he's not. Belgium, and someone says Sean Dyche. Yes, I would.
I think if Burnley get relegated, possibly.
I can't see him staying. I can't see him staying at the rest at Burnley for another season. Like, did you know how much they spent this season? $1 million.
Seriously?
$1 million.
You can't stay in the Premier League with that.
Like that's worse than Lawwell standards. And there's us spending 18 million in like a calendar season.
Aye.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. You can't stay in the top flight in England for that much, Johnny.
He's always going to hold that against me big time. Macintosh. Right. Eats nails and drinks cement. I must walk in the name. But what about Claudio? What about Claudio Ranieri? No, paycheck, definitely not.
I don't think he'd come up here. Where is he actually? Is he
Syria.
Italy, aye.
By the way, I don't have COVID, folks. I was tested last week. I was tested negative. I still have a bit of a bad chest infection. So if he's hearing me randomly coughing, doing all this stuff, it means I'm just literally dying of a chest infection. I don't have COVID. Yeah. With regards to who do you think will go? And I was thinking about this the other day after the game. I could see there's about 8 or 9 players going by the summer.
By the summer, I could see Edward going in the summer at the very latest at the summer, possibly January. But by the summer, I think we'll have lost most of the team. I think Christie, Edward, Ayer, probably. I could actually see Bruni retiring at the end of the season, to be honest.
Might as well throw the sink out and go for Jurgen. At the moment, we all love Klopp, but he's been like something of a blatant coronation street at the moment. Seriously, but I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he's had to have me drag all season. I think it's because he's not getting his fix off Virgil. He just hasn't been Jurgen Klopp this season. Maybe he's just not like the night gear. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's just not been Jurgen Klopp.
No, everything's a moan with
I think he must have got a touch of Mourinho or something, because he's just literally moaning at everything.
I know.
We'll go back to you saying about players anyway. Go on, yeah. You said Ed well.
I do think it'll be a rebuilding job next season regardless. So,
we talked about this last April. The league was only.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I done an article on Aiden's blog. They let the people sing it, and I done a kind of where did it all go wrong article, and it's basically going from Fraser Forster, not getting Fraser Forster, to the Bolingoli affair and dropping stupid points against Hibs and St Johnstone and Rangers, and then obviously just I think it's worse because the fans can't get into the stadium. We were talking earlier on about obviously season tickets. Fans that we feel sorry for that have paid £500-600 for season tickets, and they can't voice their opinions in the stadium. They can't voice their opinions in the stadium, and I genuinely believe that if fans were allowed in the stadium this season, I don't think we would be 19 points behind. I think it'd be a lot closer.
That's a tough one. Terry throwing the dice is there in Vegas.
Don't be surprised to see Brown in the squad next season, by the way. Listen, I think Brown will probably join a coaching. join a coaching role.
If he was a player coach next season, I wouldn't mind that. I'd actually wouldn't mind that. I know he's been nearly 37. I actually would. I'd take Bruni one every 5 games next season. His body's still in good shape. He's not the midfielder he once was. Like, come on, Jesus, he's like fucking Tom Brady these days. You know, he's well past it. But
I
like,
think he knows that now. I think he's starting to realise that now. Maybe when he's looking at players like Sorrow, Turnbull, McGregor in that team and thinking, you know.
Can we just say Ishmael, because every time we say Sorrow, that song gets stuck in everybody's head.
Like Izzy, we call him Izzy.
I think we should just call him. Just you see his interview, he's so cheesy. You can see that lad wants to. It's scary. Did you just compare Scott Brown to Tom Brady? Because think about Scott Brown. Look at the amount of honor Scott Brown's won. Brady's won so many Super Bowls, but obviously Bruni hasn't won the Super Bowl of club football. That's beside me.
Years in the background.
Aye, I'll show it.
Best and worst signings in January. Who have you got wrote down?
Worst signings. I have to go with Musonda. It would have to be up there because obviously his attitude was appalling. Yeah, he obviously was good potential, but his attitude was appalling.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I thought we were talking about worst signings in terms of players that will just rank. You know, I wouldn't have put Musonda there because I think, as you say, the potential's there. But obviously his attitude stunk. But you know, I think if we'd managed to get him playing and cut all that out, then. But obviously, that's the kind of player that is now.
If he's talking about NFL, I'm a big Ben fan, by the way, from the Steelers. I love Ben. Ben's my quarterback. I hate Tom Brady, by the way. I hate Bruni. Oh, not Bruni. Tom Brady. Tom Bruni. Tom Bruni. So Musonda be up there. Marvin Comper, 100%. The man that wore the brown suit to the player.
Comper? Seriously,
I really don't know.
Honest to God, how he got a medal, how he got a winner's medal, I don't know. For me, I've got a couple of players. Roy Keane.
Roy Keane won the worst.
I don't like Roy Keane as a player, and I don't think I ever have. But I just thought, almost like his attitude when he came up here sometimes, and then obviously some of the stuff that he said when he left, I thought just stunk. Stephen Henshaw, we got for Liverpool.
Big Steph.
I think he played about 8 games, if he's lucky. Raphael, who could forget?
Oh, Jesus.
Ian Wright.
Yeah, perhaps. He played like 6 games for us. Scored 1 goal.
Dublin as well. Willow Flood.
Oh, Willow Flood will 100% be up there. Willow Flood got too much time at Celtic, I felt.
I think Willow Flood was lucky in the sense that we bought Barry Robson, and I think he just kind of snuck in.
I think it was like, you might as well just get a little bit of a bargain base in Dundee United float.
Aye.
Like, Celtic, as much as we always say we get Hibs players, we've done a lot of Dundee scouting, didn't we, in the past? We got Mark Wilson from Dundee, Stuart Armstrong, Kai Stevens. Wilson putty. He was like a
body in a line, Jackie.
Unbelievable. There's a good one. Ian McIntosh said, got it right this time. Kazan Richards.
God, aye.
Definitely. Kazan Richards. He did score a nice goal away in Tynecastle though.
Aye.
And a nice goal in Rugby Park as well.
I think that's the only thing he done.
There's a lad that was forgotten about, and we had a bit of hype when he came into Celtic.
I wouldn't have said he was one of the worst, I think.
I was shy.
I don't know.
Did he play against the Huns at Ibrox and he was terrible?
Aye, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have thrown him in. I did look at his name, but I thought there were certain players that I thought maybe didn't get a proper run out. I didn't get a chance. And
by the way, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe. I see a few regular faces here. Look, I'm trying to go for 5k. Really try to get it done by the anniversary, which is March. So say to a couple of the lads or Tim, say, oh, look at Keith. This lad Keith has a podcast going weekly. Talks a lot of shite, but give it a watch anyway.
What about the best players that you've seen signing in January?
Robbie Keane be up there. As much as I know he wasn't a winner.
100%. And I feel for Robbie Keane, and it's
Not because he's
16.
Republic of Ireland, guys, by the way. I just wanted to state that.
No, listen. Robbie Keane was probably one of the ones that I felt it was an injustice that he didn't win a winners' medal at Celtic. An absolute injustice he didn't pick up a winners' medal. I think it was something like 16 goals in 19 games, 5 assists.
You are gold.
I still remember his goal against East Kilbride in the Scottish Cup. I think that's the only thing he ever done for us.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. That Sinclair goal against East Kilbride.
Aye. Mikael Lustig on a free.
Mikael Lustig was unbelievable. I forgot about Mikael Lustig.
Oh, phenomenal player.
Scott Bain would be down as one of the worst. Was that a tough one? Nah,
I don't think so. I don't think you can put him down as the worst. I think
we'll go with best here. Paddy Roberts.
Nah, but it's doing one of the best or worst.
One of the best January signings. Look what
I think the worst. I was like, what? No, Paddy Roberts would be up there. Didn't get long enough, obviously injury prone for the second season, but
when would that goal? When would that goal he scored against? Was it Aberdeen? The first goal he scored was against Hearts. The Hearts.
It was Aberdeen, I think.
Aberdeen, then it was Hearts. Yeah.
Aye. Georgios Samaras, as we were talking about off air.
What about John Guidetti? I like John Guidetti.
His attitude stunk a bit, but I liked him as a player. I thought
he wasn't a January signing, wasn't he? No, he was a full season signing.
Was he?
I think was he full?
Because he played in the knockout game against Inter.
Yeah, but that would have been February, the 3-3 game.
But I think we did get a full season at him.
Yeah, I think it was a full.
I think it was a full season.
I think it was a full season now, Guidetti.
Aye. Chris Commons.
Chris Commons would be definitely up there. Griffiths would be up there. Bellamy.
That was my next name there. Craig Bellamy, I loved him. All at Ibrox. Hat-trick against Dundee United.
Speaking of Martin O'Neill area, was there anyone that stuck out for you in the Martin O'Neill area that we signed in January?
Try to think who was signed in January under O'Neill. Can't think who. I need to check that one up, but no, we had some fantastic players.
Bellamy was
was I get a January signing? No,
with the 50 grand.
I don't think it was. It might have been summer.
I'm gonna have to check that one now. Didier Aga. If anyone wants to confirm that, Didier Aga, the bullet himself.
Roadrunner, aye.
Oh, what a player! What a player! Like literally, you look back at them, like the Champions League nights and stuff. He was that goal he scored away in the Ajax as well.
Aye. That was a phenomenal performance. That was a phenomenal performance in the Amsterdam Arena. He
signed for Celtic in September 2020. I was going to say 2020. September 2000.
So Martin O'Neill signed Bellamy on loan.
We mentioned Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane was up there,
yeah. Who else?
George Guidetti.
Stephen Pearson.
What about George Guidetti?
I think he's up there with Willie Flood.
What about?
He's well before Martin O'Neill's time, obviously.
What about the Hearts? The Hearts double, Presley and Hartley.
Decent players. Probably got Presley too late.
I listened to his interview on Goal Radio a few weeks ago, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. And he said there was no bitterness there because obviously he came from the other side. He actually grew up as an Aberdeen fan, then obviously playing for Rangers. But he said that people did disown him when he went to Celtic. But I was a fan of Presley. I thought he really played well for Celtic. I thought he was a captain material. He knew what the crack is with the Scottish League and even European games. I thought he done quite well.
It was just weird to see him in a Celtic jersey after obviously seeing him. Never mind the fact that he played for Rangers, just the fact that he played for Hearts for so long. You're used to seeing him in maroon, and I can remember I think it was Archie McPherson that said on his debut, he says, I'm still getting used to the fact that Stephen Presley's playing in green and white hoops now. But I mean,
18 great months at Celtic.
Aye, Sanchez Broto was another January signing for Martin O'Neill. Dan Lodie and Stan Varga as well.
Oh, Varga, what a man. Varga, the big mop of hair. Big Varga. Yeah, I like Varga. What a man. Charlie McGrew, enough said. Charlie McGrew was signed in the summer of 2010.
I liked McGrew.
A massive McGrew fan. He was the one that won us. He was a massive part of that season that we went on to do the first title of this Magnificent 10. I'm not Magnificent 10. Oh, Jesus Christ. It could be Magnificent 10. It's not over yet.
I think over to the family. He scored a Trenton goal at Rugby Park.
He scored 3 goals. He scored 2 goals that day.
Aye, scored that. Where he
scored with it.
He cut in for the. I think he cut in for the right. Took it to the corner and placed it right in the bottom corner.
Yeah, Olga Flex. I don't know what the crack is with him. He's just gone off the radar, to be honest. Regards to people going out, I think this season, well, from January to July or January to June, I could see Rogic, Oyer, Edward, Christie, perhaps Bain. I don't like saying this, but I think it's going to happen. Julian might go in the summer. Regards to strikers, I think we'll keep a Yeti for the season. Clamall will be there. Griff will stay. I think Bruni will actually hand his boots up or go to Hibs. Who else we're looking at? El Hamid will go. Jeremy Frimpong, will we keep him past the summer? Yes, I think he'll probably go next January. Laxall won't be staying. Mohamed Anusi will go back. It's a clean-up thing. This is where the likes of, will Boyo come back from being in the second division of France? Will Chevette come back and actually get a chance? Would Hendry get a chance, as much as people laugh when I say that?
Supposedly he's doing well in Belgium, James. So.
Yeah, like the Belgium league's a good league. Who else we going to be talking about? Luca Connell might come in. It's going to be young midfield. Callum McGregor will stay there. I think James Forrest is a lifer. He's not going anywhere. Mikey Johnson. It's a team that's going to line up next season. So you got the likes of, is it going to be Hazard in goal? Is it going to be Jeremy Frimpong? Is it going to be Taylor? Is it going to be Hendry? As much as people might laugh when I say this, is it going to be Hendry? Would it be Julian? Even though we think Julian might go in the summer. I know there's been no talk about him at the moment, but the guy's a baller, and I think someone in England will get him. The midfield, we look at Sorrow, Turnbull, McGregor, Jamesy, Mikey.
Will be coming back for Dunfermline.
He's doing well.
I know he scored last.
Is it not Dundee?
I'm pretty sure it's Dunfermline.
I thought it was Dundee.
I'm not.
It's up that neck of the woods. Anyway.
Aye.
Like this is a guy we want to talk about. This is a guy that we've talked about in the past.
It's Dundee, mate. It's Dundee. I thought it was Dunfermline. I thought we had a player on at Dunfermline for some reason.
Yeah, so people are talking about Lubo here, talking about Zinedine Zidane and Lubo. Lubo was just world class. Lubo was just one for the age of him. He was just absolutely class.
Another player we got too late in his career.
What about Hendry now? This is where I want to watch. The 55 people that are watching. Do we take Hendry back? Do we give him a chance in the hoops again? Or are you going to go down the same stigma road, like similar to what Duffy's gone through?
No, I mean, is he still on loan at the end of the season, or is he back for now?
No. I mean, like rebuilding for next season.
Or rebuilding for next season? I don't know. I think I'd like to see him given his chance at Celtic, but much like the fans don't let a player settle too much. They need to see a player hit the ground running, and if Henry doesn't do it, then they're going to be on his back, like they have been with most other players, to be honest.
You need as Gallagher and McDonald. Yeah, I take McDonald. Why not? He's been through the Celtic youth system, and other people are like, nah. Yeah, Benkovic. Yes, Benkovic. It's a case that will Benkovic take the pay cut or whatever he's on at Leicester to come to Celtic on a permanent deal, because realistically we need to stop looking at loan. Like next season shouldn't be all loan players. We need to bring players in, because we're going to lose a lot of players next season. And the biggest fear is, will we make a bit of money in the bank from these players that are going? Like, will we get like 2 million? Will we get 2 million for Rogic? Will we get 15 million back for Oyer, or 15 million for Oyer? Will we get 20 plus for Edward? You know, will we get a million or two for Scott Bain wherever he goes? You know, it's Christie. Is it 10 million for him? 15 million for him? It's literally a head scratcher.
How much of that is going to get invested back into the team? That's the thing. I mean, if we're talking roughly
especially with this pandemic,
rough numbers there, we're talking maybe 60 million for most of the players that you mentioned, maybe 70 million. There's no way that we're putting 15, 20 million back into that team. Absolutely no chance. Be lucky if it's 10 tops. So that's why we're going to go down the road of getting players like Ryan Porteous, Stephen O'Donnell, Declan Gallagher, players like that.
What about Hedges? Someone said Hedges earlier on in the podcast. I know Hedges plays more attacking.
Aye, he's all right. He seems to be all right, but I think probably no Vanu. He's probably, and much like Porteous, I think he's maybe a bit. I don't mean he's too hot-headed, but he's a bit too naive. He's a bit like Bruno when we first got Bruno. You know, we need to kind of mould him into a... Maybe if Bruno joins the coaching role when we go to Porteous, that would be an ideal kind of role for him.
They'll be on here much apart from here for the Celtic page. Well, you're on the right page, Morris. Thank you very much. At least you have a picture of Sam Maguire there as well, staying in the capital. What about Nisbet from Hibs next season?
I mean, I'd rather somebody like Christian Deutsch or something, do you know what I mean? If I'm being honest, 0 for Christie. If you get 20 million for all those players, I think.
But Christie has done I won't say done a lot for Celtic. Christie has turned up in big games for Celtic. Like, you're looking at.
I don't think you're probably talking maybe 5-10 million for Christie. In all honesty, I don't think you're looking upwards of 15. Obviously, it depends in terms of what happens in the summer. If Scotland do well under, if Christie does well for Scotland in the Euros, it still feels weird saying that. But if Christie does well for Scotland in the Euros, then his price tag could go up. Same with McGregor, potentially same with Forrest. Maybe
it all takes that. It takes that game down. It takes that game down Wembley to put the price tag, doesn't it?
Oh well, that's it. You know, one big game at Wembley. If you put in a performance, put in a shift and get a result, then you know the price tag can go up.
Definitely. Have you considered going down yet, guys? For it?
Oh, I'm going down. I'm definitely.
You on the bus with? You on the bus with Soy and
I mean, Michael
Soy and Slaney. That's it. Right, we're going to move on from all this malarkey. We have Hibs on Monday. So, Sky Sports, what time kickoff? Is it quarter 8 kickoff on Monday?
Quarter to 8.
Monday night. What's the stat about Monday? Last fixture about Celtic?
Last year, and I might be wrong, so somebody can correct me, but the last fixture was, I think it was September 2000. We played Dunfermline at East End Park, and a late Henrik Larsson goal won the game for us 2-1. So that's obviously, it's been a long time coming for a Monday game, and it's only because obviously with the bye trip that we've had to push it to a Monday.
I wouldn't take Shankland. At the start of the season, I would have taken him. He's only scored 6 goals or something this season.
I probably would have taken him at the start of the season, and I probably agree with you that he's no set the heaven on fire. John McGinn, you're not even any point in talking about John McGinn. He'll go to a big club for 30-40 million, I think, at the end of the season.
Right, regards to the Hibs, last time we played Hibs was Easter Road 2-2. It was a game realistically some some Celtic fans, and I came out and I said it. I'll admit I'm a YouTube channel. I came out and said it. Like, you know what? I think we just absolutely shot ourselves in the foot. I don't think the title's possible now. We're on a bad dip of form at the time. This was literally a couple of weeks before Ross County. The whole scene's what happened with the League Cup. Hibs are good. You know, they've only lost 3 games this season or something?
They've lost the last 3 games. The
last 3 games.
Fell off since the defeat at Ibrox. But I mean, when you look at it, last time we played them at Celtic Park, it was a comfortable victory for us. It was 3-0. And I think Turnbull might have made his debut that day. I'm not too sure. It was fairly early on in the season. But it was a comfortable victory. And this is what we've got to do. We've got to go out like the Dundee United game and go and win the game in the first half. Try and set about them in the first half, try and get the 3 points, and then turn the screw a wee bit.
So where are Hibs at the moment? Jesus, can't even see them. They're 4th in the table, right?
Aye.
36 points. So yeah, they're still pushing for that 3rd place spot. Okay, Jack Ross has still got them organised. We beat them, as far as I know, we beat them 3-0 in Celtic Park the last time we played them. Was it like, did the Yeti score that?
I'm sure Turnbull fed the Yeti for the 3rd goal. Nutmeg the keeper. But that's what I'm saying. You know, you need to take that kind of focus, that kind of into the games, obviously. But you know, it's about a week and a half since we played last, and we just need to be more clinical in games now.
I seen someone put a comment on the other day on the YouTube channel saying, we shouldn't be playing. Why should we play Dembele? Well, the officials up here. Well, when are we ever going to play Dembele? You're going to let him stay there until he's 20 odd years of age and then put him in the mix. You got to play this man.
As I said to you many moons ago, you know, if you're not going to play Dembele, then sell him.
That's it. Like, what's the point of hiding him away? You know, like the potential he has to be class.
And I thought it was poor on Hazard. I thought it was harsh to drop Hazard for the Dundee United and Rangers games. I'll be honest.
I think it definitely was. Like Hazard, what was it, 3 clean sheets in the league in a row? Was it 4 clean sheets in the league in a row? And then he decided to put Barkas in. I know Barkas got the clean sheet, but you know, he looked all right at Ibrox. You know, he's unfortunate. Obviously, it was a long goal. I wonder if he's going to start him on Monday night. I'd bring Hazard back in.
He's got to start Barkas, in my opinion. If he's threw him in against Dundee United and Rangers, he's got to stick him. We've got to get that confidence building here, Jane.
Well, if Celtic fans believe that we can turn this around and do 10 in a row, you're gonna have back Rangers and doing well in Europe. That's what I could say, because the more they're in Europe, it's better for us. Yeah. You know, and I'm hoping they get to the semi-finals because they'll tire them out.
We need them playing as many games and as far away as possible. You know, they are sending to Kazakhstan.
It's Shakhtar Donetsk or somewhere like that.
Aye, you know, but that's what I'm saying. You know, we need another 2007-2008 season where we really need to hope for the best, win your games and hope for the best.
We scraped some results in them games. The Motherwell one was one of the biggest scrape results I've ever seen. Hibs, Motherwell was obviously one of them. Scott McDonald scored against Motherwell, didn't he? The last couple of minutes to get us the win.
Might have done.
But yeah,
you know, you need something like that.
We're not good enough for Europe at the moment, sadly. We're not, and Celtic are. You've seen it this season. One of the worst European campaigns. We've got absolutely slammed by Sparta Prague. Got beaten by a good Milan side. Lille, positive results out of Lille. Obviously, that was a great first half away in Lille. Then we effed it up, and then a home that, you know, a home we were absolutely class against Lille. You know, definitely. At the moment, yeah, that's the upsetting thing. If we don't win the league this season, Rangers will get into the Champions League next season. Celtic will actually go into potentially, it depends on UEFA, we could go into a 3rd round playoff, or we can go into an actual playoff, 4th round playoff to get into it. You know, it annoys me every season where they do this business where they wear the badges, the Scottish badges and then the white stuff, and then when it comes to the playoff round, they go for the whole Champions League badge. Well, we haven't had the Champions League badge last season.
No.
What do you think of that whole? Do you agree with the whole the white at the back? I know they've been doing it since the O'Neill days.
I don't like it. Listen,
Broken hoops.
I know we don't. I know we don't do it in normal kind of kits. Like you don't buy them like that, obviously.
Nike used to do them.
But I don't like it. I prefer the hoops all the way around. You know, but it's we're a million miles away from the Champions League, and right now we need to be focused on 10 in a row and trying to recover this league, because I know we're not going to do it in my head, but the more my brain's working, I'm thinking, just imagine if they dropped enough points and we recovered this and it went into the last game of the season.
Jesus,
I mean,
be the
that
best.
would be incredible. That would be, to win 10 in a row in the last day of the season, there would genuinely be riots. There would be absolute scenes in Glasgow.
Right up that pipe, wouldn't they? They'll die. They'll die then. They'll actually die then. They will.
It would be incredible.
It's all this garbage coming onto the pages and writing all that spam and all. Look, there's banter and then there's this delusional stuff as well. You know, like just where have they been hiding for the last 9 years? You know, they've come out of the walks for the last 9 months.
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, I mean, listen, I think the Dubai trips, the timing's all wrong, but at the same time, they players that team's given us 9 incredible seasons. Some of the greatest nights and days of our lives, chatting. They deserve a wee bit of R&R. You know, they deserve a few beers by the pool. Regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season, chatting, they've just got to go for it.
They need to go for it. They need to crack it on, and if they keep winning by mid-February, I'll be like, Jesus Christ, maybe this is possible. Maybe this is possible.
Because it might take one game at a time and win as many games as we can.
As I said, I'm just looking at this season. The rest of the season, I'm looking at trying to get the youth in, get a few signings in January, hold on to what we can. If Edouard doesn't want to be at the club, get rid of him. Simple as that. Get rid of him. There's no point of having him at the club if he's not going to benefit us for 5 goals for the season. Could be a 5 crucial goals, but we need someone that wants to put the shirt on in front and actually wants to play. But I think he's in better mindset than he was compared to 6 weeks ago. Since Lee's been brought back in, that up top with him, he has looked a bit better.
He seems to have clicked a wee bit up front again, and he seems to have got a wee bit of that magic back, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of it in Monday night against Hibs. You know, it'd be really good to see him get a hat trick. You know, and really get a wee bit of his mojo back.
Aye, definitely. 100%. Right, so what score are we going for on Monday before we end this up?
I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic.
Same as the results when we beat them in Parkhead at the start of the season. I'm going to go with 2-0. I think we keep the clean sheet. I think if I'd rather see Hazard in goal. Me starting lineup, I'd go with Hazard, Frimpong, Laxall, Beaton, as much as Beaton went under scrutiny, Beaton, Oyer. The midfield has to stay the same. Is he suspended? Yeah, the red card shit. He's actually suspended. So who do you bring in? Do you bring Welch back in? Do you bring Anthony Wilson in?
I would probably bring Welsh in.
So we go with Welch, midfield, Sorrow, Turnbull, McGregor, Christie, left, Mikey Johnson, fuck Mohammed, and Edouard and Griff.
I'd probably stick with the same team that started.
Or even
with Welsh.
I think I'm after counting too many players there, to be honest, folks. I think I'm after counting too many players. I think I've gone with too many players there for a second. I think I've had an extra player fielding the team. But no, take Mikey Johnson and Robert Mohammed and Lucy out. So you go with the flat four midfield. Ryan, Sorrow, David Turnbull, McGregor, Lee, and Edouard.
Aye, I think you've got to go with that, do you know what I mean? And then, in terms of, aye, you probably got to go with that, to be honest.
People are saying that Welsh is studying his exams at the moment.
Well, as a Monday night, so it's a school night, so might not be able to play. I don't know, but
Yeah, there is a like I don't know what the stories with Julian if he's what like it really is a head scratcher now for Monday for
he
who
could
we
go a
play
three
centre
five
back.
two. He could go 3-5-2 and put an extra body in the midfield.
Good. Bring Christie in or
Aye,
bring Rodgers in.
he could do that. He probably would. To be honest, to have Iolax out and Iolax out Frimpong.
This is the last comment on like I think Lee has let the club down big time. Look, Lee's came back from 2 or 3 times being out with mental health things. He wants to play for the club. When he's on the field, he produces. He produces. When he's off the
Aye,
field, he hasn't produced. But yeah, he's unbelievable.
I don't think Griff has let the club down in recent times. That I wouldn't say he was unfit at Ibrox. Um, for the fingertips, Alan McGregor, it was a world class save. For the fingertips Alan McGregor, he puts that right in the top bin.
Oh, it's
So,
unbelievable. One of the best saves I've seen, as much as I give him the credit.
it will be. It'll go down the save of the season. Do you know what I mean? It was a phenomenal save.
Right, we better leave it there. I'll probably be back on Saturday night with two new people. Try change it around. If you ever want to come on as well, drop me a message or an email. He's at the platforms there. It'd be good to see new faces come on. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. We are. I think the last one, he's talking about his fitness, being unfit in the summer.
I mean, obviously that's back in the summer. The summer seems like years ago now.
It does.
We've had about 4 lockdowns since then.
Luke O'Connell plays centre midfield.
Aye, he's not going to get in anytime soon.
Definitely not. Well, thank you very much for everyone watching, and I better let guys go to bed. I got to bed myself. Feels like we've been talking for absolute donkey's years. We're on a 107. So everyone, good night. God bless. Stay safe. Celtic around weekend, Monday night. Hopefully, we'll be back Sunday night to talk about the game. We do a Sunday night instead, and just keep it together. It's tough times at the moment. Everybody's struggling. We're all struggling. But you know what? I'd rather be a depressed team than be a happy home. That's my fact. You know, I'd rather that because, as I said, they could hit rock bottom if there is a bit of a winning momentum. We'll have to see. So, guys, thanks very much for coming on. If you haven't liked Gaz's page, Celtic Appreciation page on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, it's just going to come on the Hoops page. You'll see the share stream there, share page, and just click that. He's gone for 13k. So let's get him to 13k by hopefully April.
Definitely. Cheers, mate.
No problem. Let you go. Cheers. As I said, folks, that was Gaz done for the night. He's wrecked. I kept him on too long. Thanks very much for everyone watching. As I said, if you could subscribe to the channel, if you haven't, really appreciate it. I will be back Sunday night, more likely Sunday night, Saturday or Sunday night. I will be back to do another show, and I'll also do a solo preview as well. What my opinion going into the game on Monday night at home to the Highbees. It's going to be a tough one, really tough one, but this is the tester. This is the make or break, for the second half of the season. Will they come out? Will they straight away hit the ground running, or will they drop points and they might as well say, yeah, it's polished off completely. It's polished off. But I hope he's like the European Cup. I had one of these last season, but unfortunately, it's not actually a metal one. A family member was putting stuff away and dropped it, and I think the whole bottom of it cracked. So, it has Celtic 1967 on it. If you can see it there in the far right. Yeah. So, the heads up, it's always going to be late. The lives will always be 9 o'clock plus They always do be because I have the wins anyway. So yeah, the cup's done, and then it's 57 quid. So just get in touch with me and I'll send you the link. It's off a site called DHK. Came from China. It took 6 weeks to come, but because of obviously Ireland and the post has been shocking over Christmas. I would have had it earlier. I would have had it all by the 20th of December, but aye. So as I said, thank you very much for watching. Is any more questions before I go? Anyone want to throw more stuff at me before I go? About Benkovic, or who we bring in? Who do you want to bring in? How much do you think we'll spend in January? Throw it at me before I go. And I apologise if I didn't get through all these comments. There's always enough time. Throw the same topic at me the next time. Second that, brother. Terry. Ian McIntosh. I could say now. McIntosh. Right. Anyone else? I have a question. Right. Here we go. Keith, when are you going to shave that beard? Don't worry, I'll be hitting the bed. I'll be hitting the heads. Hey, see what it goes all. No, it's look. I just feel like when I'm there yapping away to the guys, I'm not getting in all the comments. Like at the end of the day, these streams about interaction with yous. To spend nothing. They probably won't spend nothing. They'll probably just do a bargain town clear out at this rate. Big time. Yeah, someone's probably asked me when am I going to drink the Guinness out. It's probably soon enough. Funny enough, this came obviously in the box, but it came with red and white ribbons because Bayern Munich done it. You're going on a Celtic state of mind tomorrow, Keith? I won't be. I'll be walking out. I work obviously in the call centre environment thing, so I won't be watching the 12:30 Celtic state of mind. With Paul John Dykes. Won't be watching it. I'll catch up on it. Just this week has been mental and walk with obviously the start of the year. So hopefully. When did I decide to take up punditry? Oh, not a pundit. Can't pundit. What if the CEO leaves at the end of the season and there's no changes made? In the new case for CEO, once he's on manager, who do you think will turn in? I think Lennon's on a rolling contract basis anyway, so I can't see him staying beyond the season. I think he's failed and he's too stubborn to walk away from it. So eventually I think we will get someone else. I think it'll be a Scottish manager, I'll be honest with you. Maybe Michael O'Neill as well. So yeah, we'll have to see. I just think there is going to be, we all know there's going to be clear out, and I think it's hitting us now. Wes Morgan on loan. I wouldn't mind taking Wes Morgan. Wes Morgan's a Premier League winner. He has obviously Champions League experience as well. Good captain he was. We'll have to get on to Brendan himself. Jim's a good man. Jim says how it is. Jim's a good man. He's very, very blunt. Says how straight. I have to say, I enjoy watching Jim on a Friday. Enjoy watching him with Kevin as well after the games, and Colin as well. He's got real good setup. Paul John Dykes, even Amy as well, and who else is he bringing? He's bringing another girl in as well. So he's doing well. I said one day I'll get me time to shine on him. 2 seconds. I have to mute this for a second. The old cough. Natasha, that's the one. How could I forget? Sorry. Thoughts on the attitudes this season? Bruni hostage interview, Balangoli, Christie, lack of desire. Do you know what? This shouldn't happen for a club like Celtic, especially being 9-in-a-row winners. I just think that majority of the players don't give a shit anymore, and that's it. I just think they've had their time to shine, and without the fans there, I think they're just not arsed, and I don't care. I just think they're just there to care. It's like when you have working a certain job and that person is there for years, and they're not motivated. They're just in there just to collect the money. They don't care about other stuff around them, helping others. So that's, for example, I think Christie is head up his arse at the moment. Brownie's hostage interview was shocking. You could see with him that he just wasn't. It wasn't Scott Brown. It wasn't the Brownie. Definitely. And Bolingoli, he shouldn't be welcome. He should never be back at Celtic ever again. Big time. I'll go in a second after this because the old cough's kicking in again. So what about someone like Jackie McNamara to help in? I just think Jackie should be something to part with the club. Obviously, Jackie's an agent. Jackie was a part of the Taylor deal as well. He's Callum McGregor's agent as well, as far as I know. I like Jackie. I've interviewed Jackie. I'm a massive fan of Jackie Mack. He always has time for me anytime I mail him. When Neil Lennon left the first time, I wanted Jackie in before I had a Ronnie. And obviously Jackie was done well at Dundee United. But I wouldn't take him now. Obviously Jackie said not in that capacity for managerial stuff. By the way, Bolingoli he got a knee operation done the other day, so I don't really care about him. I'm just disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm not pissed off. I'm just disappointed the way we're paying this guy wages and he goes off to Spain for one day. Like, if he was going back to Belgium to see his family, completely understand, but the way he done it was just, there was no need for it. No need for it whatsoever. Is Will Jansen still around? Probably. We could give him a phone call. Ask Simon Donnelly to get in touch with him. Big time. Definitely. Some I can't do there, Keith. Talking about Natasha. Look at Champions League quality. You know, fair play to her. She actually talks. She speaks her mind. Fair play to her. All these pundits are great on the show, I have to say. There's no one that I could turn around and say, they're boring. You know, they all have different opinions. And it's brilliant. It's great to see. Frank Brennan. Christie's mind was to go completely made up. And $8,000 a week. Now he's sitting on the same dressing room. That's on $45,000 a week. Yeah, I think that it could be that. You know, I think that's the level. Like, you know, it's similar to what happens in the MLS. You know, there's these 3 wild cards, marquee players you get, and the rest of them. Like, remember Robbie Keane was on ridiculous money with Landon Donovan at LA Galaxy, and the rest of the team are just getting paid buttons. So yeah, I think that's kind of similar to what's happened to Celtic. You know, so Scott Sinclair was on $42,000 a week. I think obviously Fraser. I think Fraser was on $60,000. He was at Celtic. He's reportedly on $90,000 at Southampton. That's why Fraser's a big factor and not kept coming back down to wages, and it could be down to the club not willing to do it. So I've no hate against Fraser. He's done a phenomenal job the 3 terms at Celtic. Paul's so professional. Paul is the man. He's the best podcast out of them all. By a mile. I prefer watching Paul over Up and Goal any day. Because it's just Celtic. It's professional. He knows his history. He's written so many books. He's interviewed so many people. He's gone through the eras. He's gone through the eras of football. Obviously, he talks about the 1988 Cup final against Dundee, his favourite, Frank McAvenny. He knows his stuff. Like. And when I get to his age, I'm hoping I know my stuff, similar to what he's done. I'd love it. I really would love it. But time will tell. You got to learn from the best. Become the best, as they say. So, players out of the squad who you wish to keep, definitely. I'd like to keep Julian because I think Julian's a threat of leaving, even though he's good. I think Julian could go in the summer. French teams could be sniffing around. I'd like to keep Sorrow as well. Sorrow looks potential now. We only signed him in January. David Turnbull. You don't know what happened in modern day football. You get these guys in for a season, and then the big hitters are coming once they have a good few performances. For the likes of Turnbull, Sorrow, you need to play European football to get the price mark up, and this is the clinical thing. It's not about winning the league. It's about getting the European football. As a club, we need to survive. You know, I know we're up 30 million, but how much does that 30 million go went out with the fans being in the stadium. So we've yet the season tickets have been sold, you know. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see, especially for next season. What age are you cute? I am the big 3-0. I was big 3-0 in September. So plenty of time to go, you know. Plenty of time to go. You know, I've only been supporting the hoops since 2006 full time. Wasn't into football as a kid, as everybody knows. Wasn't into sports as a kid, but things change in life, don't they? Things change. John, it's great to see you in. Great to see you blocked as well. John is blocked. Carver going to know Europe will cripple our transfer kitty. That's why he was saying to guys in the whole podcast. I think Celtic need to go with a domestic approach on it. If they're going to sign anyone in January, I don't think I can't see them going out and forking 5 or 6 million for the Premier League reserve player. I think we made a mistake. He hasn't settled. Obviously, he was good when he came to the club. Just no, definitely not. I don't think Rafa Benitez would come to Bonnie Scotland out straight with just Stewart. Just think it's down to money. It's about selling the product. If we're not going to win a title, he means he comes in. Is it going to be a Gordon Strachan failure? He doesn't get Celtic into the Champions League in the early parts of the season. The fans be moaning then. Was a Rafa just coming in just to win a Scottish title? Rafa's coming to play Champions League football and nurture these players and get the best out of these players and sell them on. Similar to what Rodgers done. Get Laxall signed. He's a few weak points, but every player has weak points. Every player does, and that's what happens in modern day football. I like Laxall. I think he's a lot of potential to be a really good player for Celtic. But is it willing that we're going to spend 7.4 million in a recession? You could say that's the thing. Are we going to spend 7.4 million? But it's about what happens in the summer. It's about if we know that the likes of Edwards going, are we going to put 7 million to Laxall? Put 5 million into a striker and then put the rest into the club's finances. That's what you worry about this board. Will we see the money? See where it's been invested? Do you think Beaton bringing Maleros down was a blame? Beaton can speak English. Beaton's been at the club for 7.5 years. His English is not bad. I think a lot of people need to realise Beaton has been playing centre-back for the last year and a half. So, keep blaming saying he's playing out of position. He's been playing there for the last year and a half. It's not like he's been thrown in that position on a wet day. So, he made a mistake. He's a footballer. He made a mistake. I was angry and frustrated. But we got it back. I've seen some awful things that was sent to his wife and sent to him, and people need to get a grip to themselves, You don't go out and offside the pitch and start doing that type of stuff, that's death threats and stuff like that, and saying, Glasgow and all that. Big time. It was a sending off, and we got to move on. The result is the result. It was last week. Hibs are this week, and this is what we're talking about. It was a disaster, an absolute disaster, but before that, we played quite well. So I'm going to move on from it. Yeah, that's it. He has been a good servant for Celtic. People forget the goals he scored against Dundee, that 40-yarder, the goals at Rugby Park, the goals in the Champions League qualifiers in Brendan's first season, against Prisheva, scoring a lovely goal in the Amsterdam Arena as well against Ajax in Europa League. People forget that stuff. Beaton coming on in the treble cup final, storing the ship. Even at Ibrox last season, he was unbelievable when he came on. People forget that stuff. They're quick. They're quick enough to talk. They're quick enough to criticise when things go wrong. But give them the praise. Yeah, Laxall's English is absolutely shocking. Obviously, comes from Uruguay. Native language is Spanish. Obviously, a bit Italian now. Playing in Italy for the last 6 years. Yeah. So, folks, I'm going to leave it there. I'm getting tired. It was appreciate having you all on. I hope the sound was okay for you, and I'll be back over the weekend. And we get the comments all in again. Hell, take care. Celts.